Rancheros.
The Huevos Rancheros is incredible. It's like anytime I get a Huevos Rancheros somewhere else, I'm like, what?
Why would I
This is not.
Why would I order
This is not what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, they fry their own chips like underneath it perfectly.
That will cure what ails you, for sure.
You'll have to take a nap.
Good morning, students. May I have your attention, please, for this morning's announcements?
I see your shirt is untucked.
Homework is due every single day. That's why it's home.
I will be calling your
Hey,
parents.
what's going on here? No running in school. I'm going to tell your coach about
I
this.
said that's enough, both of you. Out in the hall.
All right, welcome to episode 27 or episode 6 of the spring semester of Out in the Hall. I am Ryno, and that, of course, is the Willy Mammoth. We're going to freewheel it a little bit today.
I didn't prepare.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Spontaneity is a highly sought after trait, and you possess a lot of it. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Let me ask you a quick question here.
Creativity.
Do you think that you could be like one of those people that's like super hyper political and like works in that arena and like, or say you have a talk show and you're like super political and you have like, and your graphics are like bombs blowing up in the background, you know?
I don't think so.
Doesn't that sound exhausting? I just found out I have a buddy, a really good friend from high school that does that.
I had a roommate my freshman year before I transferred down to where we went to school. So this would have been in the fall of 2000.
Okay. Yeah.
So Fox News was like becoming a thing. Cable news had been around, but it was like, all right,
Yeah.
this guy was a freshman. He was obsessed with the news.
Oh no.
He would watch the news 4 hours, 5 hours a day. And it was like, dude, get a girlfriend or something.
Your blood pressure has to be extremely high.
It's not that I don't care. I care to the extent I should care, but I don't care more than
Sure,
that.
you're informed enough to make decisions based on your belief system and what you think is best for your family and for the country. Of course.
Right.
Yes.
But like, I'm not going to get all
No.
hyper worried about it because I can't do anything anyway.
I knew this guy was really into it. He had worked for like the DOD and the CIA. Like he's legit. He went to Afghanistan I think 10 times or something like that. So like he's got the street cred. But like I started just to like, I Googled him yesterday and was like looking at his stuff. He's
into it.
oh my gosh. I mean,
That sounds really stressful and
exhausting.
it's almost like a,
But I saw his number of episodes. This is what made me think about when you said episode, whatever we have going on here. He
27.
27. This episode that I downloaded and watched is 639.
That's insane.
Been doing it that long.
How often does he do it?
I have no idea. I watched like
What if
30 seconds of the first
Yeah,
clip. I was
yeah.
like, I can't watch this.
What if he did one a month and he's been doing it for 30 years? That'd be
God.
incredible.
I just couldn't believe it. It was shocking.
Also, that stuff moves at such a fast pace that like you could prepare for a show tomorrow and by the time your show aired, like the production has to be done so quickly. We don't do this live. This isn't a secret.
No. I was floored that there's somebody either that has, I would love to have that kind of energy. We do this once a week, and I'm like, we can't even do 2 back to back. I get exhausted.
Now, in fairness, I was actually talking about this with a buddy of mine at a party this weekend who also does a podcast. I'll give it a plug. It's very cool. I don't think it's not for us.
No, yeah.
He's a lobbyist and they spend a lot of time in the restaurant space. His podcast is called Working Lunch and it's all about the restaurant
That's a
business.
good name.
Yeah, I think it's a great name. But they do 52 episodes a year. 52 episodes a year.
Every week.
Every week.
They
Now
don't-
they'll
they-
do
they
2 or
don't
3
take-
in the can.
They don't take a spring break.
They're just
We might be taking a spring break this year.
We'll release during spring break. We may not record that week.
Right.
Although we should take a spring break because,
That makes sense. We took a winter break.
yeah,
It makes
So,
sense. It goes
all right.
along.
I like that.
I think we should do it too.
Okay, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is, like a lot of the political nature of, or I should, the fast-paced nature of which political podcasts have to be run. Think about this: Sean Hannity does an hour or 40 minutes every night. He just spends all day preparing for that. Also does a radio show for like 3 hours.
Well, now he has an army.
I get it, but
Yeah.
he still has to prepare
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you paid me that kind of juice, I'd say whatever you
20+ mil a year
wanted me to say.
and access to a Fox News helicopter where you can blade in from your house in the Hamptons and land on top of
Is
your
that where you
building.
live in Hampton?
No.
Brian Kilmeade guy moved to Ponte Vedra.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
he just goes virtual?
No, I think that he's there on the weekends.
Oh, no, he's a weekend guy now?
No,
or
no,
in Ponte Vedra on the weekends?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Have you seen him around?
No, I just want to clear this up. I don't watch cable news.
Okay.
But it was a segment on the local news, which I also don't watch, but it popped up on my news feed. And he had done a segment on the local Metro Diner in Ponte Vedra Beach.
Yeah. Owned, of course, or founded by, of course, our friend.
Yes,
Mark DeVoli.
Good guy.
Great guy.
And if wherever you're listening, you might find Metro Diners.
Hey, that's our lunch lady today. Tell them about Metro Diner. Tell them about how it started. What's our connection, your connection to Mark DeVoli.
Metro. In one of the historic little neighborhoods in Jacksonville where I spent my 20s and 30s. Well, half my 30s.
Yep.
You know, like close to the bars, close to downtown, close to the stadium, all that stuff. Small, off-grade, 1,300 square foot, built in the 40s house.
Packed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was great. For all the friends lived around it and all that stuff. And the local little diner is Metro Diner. And
It was one of one at the time.
one
right?
of one.
Yep.
And this local family, Mark DeVoli, owned it. Great concept, always packed, hour plus wait. And it could be a
Lot of savory breakfasts.
very savory. Got
Like-
to the chicken and waffles thing. Yeah.
I've had a waffle there with a piece of cheesecake on top of the waffle.
Yeah, it's just very
like
unique.
4 scoops ice
right?
cream.
He ended up partnering, which was a great spot. And we did my dad's wake there. They weren't open for dinner, but my brother, wonderful guy, had just gone through a divorce from his college lady friend. And then my dad died suddenly. We had a funeral, and then we had a wake, like an old school Irish wake. Even though we're not Irish, but it was like we're boozing. All of his friends were in town. He was the first, basically, of all his friends to die.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, I know. It was great, and great as it could be. I threw up. It was a great night. A nice, lovely young lady had been our server forever. She just kind of always got us. She had worked there since she was like 16. Really solid human being.
We're talking about the night of your
The
dad's.
night of my dad's wake, and so she was serving the booze.
Yep.
Okay. And my poor brother, gets divorced, and this girl's wonderful, beautiful young lady. I'm like, you guys should meet, right?
Yeah.
And so the story varies, and I believe that I introduced him, but I think that factions of our family or her family believe that her sister introduced her. But regardless, my brother's such a good guy. Now I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, buddy.
Yeah.
Getting liquored up.
Yeah.
Here's no better way to get depressed than like,
Yep.
who knew?
Yep.
And
Who knew?
And
N-E-W.
yeah,
N-E-W.
yeah, with no hyphen.
Right.
But he's such a good guy. Like they met, they really liked each other. They stayed up all night. They cuddled. And I think they talked.
Covered and cuddled and comforted.
Yeah, all night. And then they kept talking. And then she became a stay-at-home girlfriend. And then moved down to Tampa. And then she finished up her schooling. She's a little younger. And then they ended up getting married.
Yeah, and they're married now.
They're married now.
That's who you were with the islands with 2 weeks
That's
ago.
right. But she had worked at Metro for so long. Now, the story is that Mark, and they opened something ridiculous in the first 2 years. They opened 50-something Metros.
Right.
All over the country. Vegas.
Who did he partner with?
Partnered with Chris Sullivan, who's the founder of Outback.
Right.
Out of Tampa.
So that guy knew how to scale.
100%.
Yep.
Chris came in because Mark got on Diner Drive-Ins and Dives with Guy, whatever his name is.
Fieri.
Weird guy. But whatever, a lot of publicity. So I guess they saw that. Chris came in, partnered with him. And since Brittany was living down in Tampa and Outback was based in Tampa, they hired Brittany to go and open every single Metro diner across the country.
Oh, I didn't know this.
And train. Well, there's 2 houses. There's 2 portions of the house, right? There's the cooks and all that crap.
Yep.
And then there's the front of house.
Yep.
Right. So Brittany had been working there forever, so she understood all the systems and the service quality, the steps of service, whatever that worked for Metro. And so they flew her all around the country to open all these Metros and train the front of house staff. She she had an office like right next to Chris Sullivan. I mean, this guy's
Yeah, big time.
that's big time.
Yeah.
Right. And that Outback group has a ton of restaurant concepts.
Right.
And eventually it just wore on her. She ended up leaving, but a lot of connection to Metro Diner.
Well, how about that for a lunch lady segment?
Great spot, great menu.
So they're all over now.
They're all over. And the whole story with Brian Kilmeade had done hey, what do you think about it? I don't know what they were talking about. It was, but he was interviewing people in there, white old people.
Yeah.
That knew
Think about
that
the cheesecake and waffles.
cheesecake and waffle, shrimp and grits.
They have, what's the Mexican dish?
Yes.
Yeah, their huevos rancheros.
The huevos rancheros is incredible. It's like anytime I get a huevos rancheros somewhere else, I'm like, what?
Why would I
This
order
is not.
Why would I order
This is not what I want.
Yeah.
And they fry their own chips like underneath it perfectly.
That will
It's-
cure what ails you, for sure.
You'll have to take a nap.
That's the goal.
You have to take a nap and
Wake up a little foggy.
You have to use the restroom.
Huevos rancheros, use the restroom,
Take a nap. Take a nap. You may have to shower in between the restroom and the nap.
All right, so we were at breakfast earlier today, and what? Okay, and we're in there. There are these 2 massive.
Like bigger than the Rock.
Both of these cops were bigger than The Rock. They were like the boulders. Like they were huge.
Huge dudes.
I bet one of them was 6'5",
350.
and ripped.
More bulky. I don't know about ripped.
Did you see his arms?
I know, but it was bulk. Yes, he wasn't
He wasn't
like
fat.
No, he wasn't getting ready for like a bodybuilding competition though. But he was like you could see the
Massive.
yeah.
And Matt and I were just laughing, like, how funny would it be if they're in the same car? And then it was like, what if they're motorcycle cops? And then what if they got in trouble, had to ride one motorcycle?
Yeah, what if one of the motorcycles broke down?
And there's like, like two circus bears on a tricycle. All right, so then we start talking about. They're like, "Do you guys break your bike again?" Roberts, get in here.
We reinforced that suspension.
So then we start talking about. I don't know if anyone was like me, but I used to study the Guinness Book of World Records.
I actually had the book.
Of course.
Yeah, there was no online.
No. And if you remember, they had those the world's fattest twins.
I don't remember that they had that.
Most people that are listening will remember that. And it was these guys. They were huge. They were 660 pounds of
Huge for the 80s.
Dude, 660 is strong.
There's like my 1,000-pound sisters now on TLC.
That is true.
The twins. They're twins.
That's true.
Yeah. I like it when they always come in and they're like, I haven't been eating. I don't know why I haven't lost any weight. And that foreign doctor, you're lying.
No, like, all right, I have been. All right, so my question was, I remember these twins, and the question is, are they still alive?
Yeah. So this picture was black and white from the 80s. Okay.
Yeah, maybe even 70s.
And they were easily in their 40s at this point.
Yeah, probably. It was 1978. Guinness World Record was the McGuire twins, like Billy and Benny McCrary or McGuire. I don't know. There's some debate.
But
Doesn't matter.
the question is,
are they
still alive?
alive?
And you were willing to bet the farm they were not.
And I was right.
Oh, both of them are dead.
Yes.
You made it seem like your reaction seemed like maybe one of them have died, but one of them is still going.
Okay. I didn't see this coming.
Okay.
Billy died in 1979.
Right after.
Only a year after clinching the record.
Not very long to sit on the throne.
Let's let this be the pop quiz.
Yeah.
If you get anywhere close to how he died, you are awarded.
Hit by a train.
Okay. It's not close. Nope.
Hold on.
Okay.
He got shot robbing a bank.
Okay.
Nope. Wait. I got one more. I got one more.
Yeah. I want to point out the guy weighed 666 pounds.
This could be it. Okay. He was sat on by an elephant.
Okay. No.
Okay.
The closest was the train.
Okay. So it wasn't a result of his health.
Right. I guess that's what shocked me.
Yes.
It was the result of a poor decision. That decision was he was going to do a motorcycle stunt and jump over Niagara Falls and didn't make it. I'm reading it right here on the internet.
How far of a jump is that?
Well, let's look at this. Actually, all it says is he died from injuries sustained in a motorcycle stunt jumping Niagara Falls in Ontario.
Okay.
Unfortunately for Benny, his health caught up to him in 2001 where he died of heart failure.
Heart failure, yeah.
That makes sense.
A lot of work. A lot of work for that heart. That's pretty old.
Yeah, but I didn't see the...
Maybe he was a smoker.
I don't think it mattered. I don't think it would have mattered.
Okay. I mean, that's a long time to go without your twin.
Yeah, but more shocking was that the man would attempt any sort of stunt.
Where gravity was involved.
Yes.
Gravity and propulsion. I wonder how far the run-up is. I'm just envisioning the YouTube clips you see where people are trying to jump ditches and they don't get going fast at all and then they just fall right off the edge of the ramp.
Do you think he just made it barely over the edge and just moved? Just
I wonder.
And at what point is he like, oh.
I'm not going to make it.
And he goes up and, and he just barely falls over. Like water rolling off a counter just. And he's like, just falls and then. Like, well,
unfortunately, I think this may be a stereotype, but it comes from me watching these 1,000-pound sisters and confirming it where they call what they drink sodies instead of soda.
Oh, yeah, sody pops.
Sodies. I think if you're generally going to allow yourself to get that large, your IQ's maybe a bit lower. Your education background, your socioeconomic background is lower. You're not introduced to healthy foods. You don't have parents that teach you how medicine, how your anatomy works. That's not healthy.
And maybe I'm way out of my lane here, but it seems to me that to get that big, there was obviously a life education piece missing.
Or there could be some serious trauma too. Like maybe somebody was sexually abused as a child or something that they didn't get proper, even if you do get proper mental care for that, you can still have long-term issues or whatever. Like, could you imagine? Like, I don't know how that affects your social development or whatever. I mean, our childhoods were virtually perfect.
Yeah, certainly comparative.
And we're still pretty messed up.
A truer statement has not been said.
Can you imagine having
That's the truth.
Traumatic childhood? Like where your parents are at each other's throats. There's a lot of kids out there that go through that.
Oh my gosh.
All over the world.
Sure.
I'm thankful to my parents.
Yeah, I want to return back to the funny part of the show if we could.
My dad's dead. He can't hear me.
What does that have to do with anything?
Got to thank my parents.
Oh, you're thanking your parents?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. I don't even know if my mom knows that I have a podcast.
You want to hear something funny?
What? And it's not because I don't talk to her.
Oh, I know.
Spend time with her.
Like, Matt, can you stop talking? I'm trying to watch Hannity.
She'd be offended.
Matt, I'm trying to watch Hannity.
The things that I say.
There's a guy in town.
Hannity's too liberal for her now.
Oh, yeah. Newsmax only.
OAN.
Oh, yeah. And Epic Times.
Epoch, she calls it.
I've heard it called that too.
No, have you read the Epoch Times? I go,
let's find out because I've heard that. I
want you to know that it's Epic Times. No, it's Epoch.
I'm about to tell you right now. How to pronounce
EPOCH. This is not a plug for the Epoch Times. I just want to clear that up. It's a fringe publication.
Now, in American English, it's usually said more as epoch, epoch, epoch. American English or epoch. Now you know.
Sounds like it.
So it could be
sounds
both.
like it both.
Could be
They're
both.
not wrong.
Well, now my mom.
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to think.
It's a twister.
It's a twister. Well, what was I going to tell you?
I don't remember.
Oh, you said you don't know if your mom knows we even have a podcast.
We know Gracie knows.
Oh yeah, she listens. Big fan.
She's great.
There's a guy in town, and I don't like this guy. What's this?
Okay,
it is what it is. And he's a bit of a hater.
I think you're going to say his real name.
Yeah.
But if you had to give him another name.
Yeah.
Okay. That was not his real name.
Okay.
But it's just a guy that you don't like.
Yeah.
Okay. Any guy you don't like.
Yeah.
What's that name?
Wayne. Wayne.
What?
His name. Yeah.
It's okay. All right.
His name is Wayne. His name is Wayne Swarmer.
Swarmer.
This guy sucks.
Okay. He sucks. All right.
So it's gotten back to me.
Yeah.
That he has made some comments. Who's this guy think what's this guy? He's out there with his blog. He called it a blog.
A blog.
Yeah, this guy's got a blog.
Do we have a blog?
No, we have a podcast. It's 2024. We don't have a blog.
What are blogs?
They're from like the early 2000s where people just wrote things.
Reddit kind of thing?
Yeah, but if you had a blog, you would just opine.
Opine, but you need a forum to do it.
Yeah, you'd go to thewillymammoth.com and be like,
you get like GoDaddy, you get a website or something like that.
Yeah, and then you'd sit down and just write things and just opine about whatever.
Okay.
Maybe it's specific to fly fishing.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with
We
that.
have a comedy podcast. Blog.
First iteration of podcast.
It's because it wasn't, the format was written only.
Maybe the great.
So my point about this
grandfather.
guy, in an effort to like demean me, like in a public setting to people that I.
But you're not there.
I wasn't there, but he was trying to take a shot at me in front of other people.
Right.
He literally was 24 years behind in his technology. This guy also, by the way, reads Yahoo News every day.
You know what I've noticed here recently?
Wayne
on
Swarmer.
I have a Dell computer and I use Chrome as a browser. And no matter how many times I turn on the search that I want it to go to Google as my default search, when I just type something in the address bar, it's taking me to Yahoo consistently as the quote unquote safe search as the default. I
didn't know Yahoo was around.
In my Chrome browser. And let me tell you what, Yahoo as a search engine sucks.
Really?
Compared to Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever. There's only two that I would use.
Yahoo.
It had its run.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You know, I saw the other day, and this is an old story. This isn't breaking news, but it just blew my mind. Do you remember the story that Blockbuster Video had the opportunity to buy Netflix for $50 million when Blockbuster had 1,600 plus stores? And they're like, nah, people aren't doing that. That's never going to work.
Getting in the mail.
Yeah.
I made fun of Cousin Brian. I maybe in my head, but not to his face, when he was like talking to me. Right once you could retail stock websites came out, so you as a retail investor could go out, open up like a Scott Trade account or whatever it was, E-Trade, early E-Trade.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, and you could trade stocks.
Yeah.
Right? Way before, this is, could be 15 years ago. And the dude was on a Netflix early and bought a bunch of Netflix. And not like a bunch, maybe like a couple $1,000 worth or something like that. Right. And he, every time I would see him, this is through like our 20s and our 30s, talk to me about his Netflix stock. And I'm like, I've never ordered a DVD in the mail. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Why would you place an order and wait for something where you could get in your car, drive to the video store?
Of course. Browse,
risk the chance that the movie's not even in, wait at the return bin for up to 30 minutes to look for the movie you want to have. Why would you wait at home when you could go through that other inconvenience?
Yeah.
He was onto something.
I don't know if he still owns it or not. We should ask him. He listens, so go ahead and send me a text when you hear this.
Yeah.
Cousin B. But I bet a couple $1,000 worth of Netflix stock back 25 years ago would be worth
a lot.
100 grand today, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah. That's good for him.
Yeah. I mean,
he was an early adopter, a user, like would get the damn things in the mail, open them up, use them, have the return package.
I'd have lost the package.
He's very organized.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He made a comment to me because I think a couple shows ago you were talking about how, they were talking about Cousin Brian still, how you were talking like, you said something like, Cousin Brian's one of these guys who like kind of just orders what he's going to eat, you know?
The exact amount.
He goes, hey, I heard that comment from Matt, and that's what everyone except for Matt does.
That's not true. That's not what you do.
Of course it is. Sometimes I'll order for the table.
I mean,
what he was alluding to is you and your Waffle House habit. We sit down Waffle House, and they're like, hey, good morning, hon. Do y'all need coffee? And you're like, we do, and a waffle for the table. So go ahead and put that in, and then we order, and after we have a waffle for the table.
And everybody eats it.
It's a great move.
Breakfast it doesn't make any sense to me. There's no appetizer menu for breakfast.
There should be.
There's appetizers for lunch.
Yep.
There's appetizers for dinner. There's a whole segment of eating called tapas.
Yeah.
That is appetizers.
Right.
Cool, small plates, whatever.
Right.
We're not European.
Right.
All right. Why is there just one meal? There's no dessert for breakfast. There's no appetizers for breakfast. There's no starters. There's nothing.
So you're taking it into your own hands, and you're going to fix that.
I guess just doesn't make any sense to me.
I was at Bay Hill last week. Got my buddies were in town. I think I told you that.
Oh, yeah, the Cobra guys.
So I went out.
Did you get some swag?
Oh, yeah.
Can I get some?
Yeah. Nice. Yes. Nice. You got a Cobra hat on right now.
I do. I used your Cobra clubs last week to play.
You did.
Or your backup set. You strike those nice in the middle, man.
Sweet club.
You don't feel it.
Make a nice iron.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm at Bay Hill last week. And again, nothing novel coming out of our mouths today. The modern golfer is such a far cry from the golfer of the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
What do you mean?
These guys pound the ball, pound it, and every one of them is a freak athlete. You can see if you stand behind.
There's a couple not freak athletes out there.
Okay.
Jason Duffner.
Fair enough.
Gary Woodland.
Gary Woodland is, first of all, he's a Cobra guy. So
is he ripped?
He's not ripped.
He's a thick guy.
It's interesting. So I was watching him hit balls.
What about some
on
of these
the
little skinny European dudes?
Dude, what I'm telling you is every muscle in their body, their backs are like snow cones. They are so fit. Think of like...
They're not Hal Sutton.
Correct. Right.
Cooking a cig in between his drive and his iron shot.
They're not, Tim Clark, Lumpy or whatever? Like it ain't...
Tom Kite.
Yeah. Like
they wear contacts now.
Or
get LASIK.
Yeah, they don't go with the welder's goggles.
They're not old Fred Funk.
It's just insane. It's time with their trainers,
sure,
and physios.
It's their job.
But these guys are athletes, I guess is my point. Just seeing it up close again in person,
of course.
It just provides, it's really nuts.
Yes. No, golf is I know we talk a lot about golf, and a lot of the general population doesn't play golf. It's expensive, time consuming, and really frustrating. Right. Especially if you don't practice.
But it is fun.
If you can get to the point where you're striking the ball well and you're with some friends that don't care if you shank a ball every now and then.
It's fun.
It's a really good time. And there's not really much you can do where you can go out, spend 4 hours, you put your phone down, you're chatting with your friends.
You're outside.
It's lovely. Maybe you have a little social meal afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, the
whole process
that is the best part of it.
It is.
By a long shot.
It is. The crowd at golf tournaments, and of course, I've been to plenty.
Not the waste management.
I would say not. I have been there, but
yes,
we were there together.
I couldn't get to you because you were in the special celebrity section.
Listen, we all have to be somewhere.
I love how you didn't come to try to get me.
Well, I'm not going up there. Well, the proletariat?
But I was there. We were in Arizona together randomly, and you saw me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get down
Barely.
to you.
I barely. You were
You couldn't
way
get down to me.
up there.
You didn't call me and say, you know what, let me go out here and get you. You can come
I did
down
try.
here.
My phone didn't work.
This is a great view
My phone-
from right here.
My phone didn't
I don't.
work.
I watched you. You didn't try.
I think
You
I'm
were
more
too
like,
busy with your celebrity friends.
Listen, these guys require a lot of attention.
Okay. All right. Well,
That was also like 7 years ago. You still bitter about
I'll just remember it.
it? Fondly?
There's not much I remember.
You remember it very clearly?
I can't believe I remember anything from that day.
Well, I was just gonna say just the crowd of everyone's respectful of one another. Going to a golf tournament, if there's a golf tournament in your area, a PGA Tour tournament, and I can't speak for the Live, that's not my program, but going to a PGA
will be
Tour,
soon.
well, it could be. Going to a PGA Tour tournament in your city or a city nearby is a pleasurable experience.
I think so for the most part. There's a lot of walking.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's a nice day. I'm not saying go on a rainy day.
All the walking.
Or not. Just go sit.
Yeah, but just from where you're parking to where you're walking
I
to,
might park a little closer than you.
because you got the Cobra thing.
I just,
Again, never called me.
well, maybe next year. There's always next year.
They moved the players to the kids' spring break for us. So,
Oh, it's not next week?
no, it's week.
This week? Oh, really? When is it? I thought it was this. Well, maybe I'm all over the place.
I think it's next 2 weeks.
Hold on. Players Championship 2024, March 12th through 17th.
Yeah, that's hardest spring break for us. So we're going out west. Yeah, spring break.
Yes.
I love going out. I love Utah for the skiing aspect of it. It's a hard place to get drunk
Why?
because they have all those Mormon rules on the boozing.
Oh, so it's like a mini bottle situation?
It's worse than that. It's a deterrent. It's so exhausting to get liquored up that because you have to you can't order a double. You can't get more than one drink if you're just a single person. It's like if you go to get something for your significant other,
Right.
or a friend, they
Right.
won't give you 2 drinks. Okay. And they have those caps on the end of it's like a trickle. Just comes out. I'm like, how much is that? They're like 2 ounces. I'm like, can you make it 4?
No.
No. And it's impossible. So the bar is not close to the pool situation where we go. So I have to keep walking upstairs to try to
forget
get a drink, and it's exhausting. So
Trying to relax, get a little buzz on.
so the legislature there did it. If their goal was for not people to get liquored up,
Be annoying.
they did a good job.
Yeah, well, that's not fun.
But it's incredible snow.
All right, I want to do.
Hate it when moral laws like that make their way onto the books. Like, this country was not founded with any sort of moral laws whatsoever.
No, it's actually founded on personal responsibility.
Correct. We had opium dens and brothels and bars.
If you don't want to participate in that, don't.
That's right. Or if you do, that's fine. And if you're a public nuisance, you're going to get in trouble for it.
Right.
That's fine. But to try to tell somebody else that they have to abide by your no, I get it. There are universals. You can't kill.
Right.
You can't.
Got to stop at red lights.
Yeah, right. You got to drive on the right-hand side of the road in this country. Like, I get it. But like, if you're going to do something that isn't hurting anybody else,
Right. Don't law me into doing what you think is the right thing.
what you think is the right thing. That's
law-
right.
don't law me.
When I'm not affecting you whatsoever.
Right.
Right. If you're murdering somebody, you're infringing upon society. You're hurting somebody else.
Yeah.
I get that. You're stealing from somebody. All that stuff.
Yeah, you still can't drink and drive.
Of course not. Of course not.
There's a much better way to say than you're lawing me into doing what you think is right.
Yeah.
I don't know how-
Telling.
yeah, but like you're mandating. or-
Imposing.
yeah.
Imposing your whatever. And again, I'm not, most people that probably do, there are good intentions behind those laws, but in the end of the day, it's like, it's funny, I watched some of the commercials where they made wearing a seatbelt a law, like back in the 80s or whatever.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
And everybody, or drinking and driving.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is this, like a communist country?
That one guy, I don't know, he's like in like Paducah, Kentucky or something, Mississippi. And I don't know what kind of country we live in when a man does an honest day's work of 12 hours and can't have him a couple of beers in his truck on the way home. Yeah. That guy?
Yes.
And there's one lady who has like a kid crawling around the front seat and she's like, I can't believe it.
We just live in a communist country now.
Yeah. Like, all right, tone it down.
For seatbelts or drinking and driving. That's like my point in saying that is, and I'm watching this show on Netflix called Warrior. It's very good. It's like about Japanese gang warfare in the late 1800s in San Francisco, and how they're all importing into Chinatown. They're all coming to work for the railroads and all that stuff. And then naturally they bring their gangs, right? And they're fighting over territory in Chinatown. But everything in there is like, The opium dens, the brothels, the bars, the gambling. That is all anybody did.
If they wanted to.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. This crowd, that's all they did.
Right.
Yes.
But your point is, it wasn't like legislated.
Correct.
That's what you can't legislate morality. I know you don't have two truths and a lie.
I don't.
It's okay, but I do.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to make a few statements. Tell me the following. Which of the following is a lie?
Okay.
I will drink liquor while eating. I will drink water while eating. I will drink wine while eating.
I know you will not drink liquor while eating.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I will not drink liquor while eating. I'll drink it before.
You drink before.
And I'll drink it after.
I had 3 martinis last night. Dirty Tito's martini.
With a meal.
With my meal.
No way.
And water. I like the water to wash it down so I clear my palate with the water after like a bite or something like that.
Will not drink liquor.
And then I will have a nice salty sip of that dirty martini. I don't want any olives. I don't want anything in there. I just want the booze.
You want it dirty though. That's
Yeah.
dirty with olive juice.
Well, yeah, I don't want the physical olives. I don't want to chew anything in my drink.
Oh man, I love a dirty martini, and my order is the same every time. And
What?
It goes as follows: I like a Tito's martini up,
Yep.
extra dirty.
Yeah.
Then I ask, "Do you have blue cheese olives?"
Sure.
They'll say yes. I will hold up 3 fingers like this and say, "I'd like 3 of them."
Not this way.
No, I always go 3.
That's the German way.
I go 3.
Remember in Inglourious Bastards?
I'm not done with my order.
Sorry.
Yeah, 3. And then I go, and I want you to shake it. And then when you're done shaking it, I want you to shake it again. And after that, I want you to shake it twice as much as you've already shaken it. And they usually go, so you want it real cold? And I go, ice shavings on top. And they go, got it. I do not like a warm martini. I like it so cold.
I got
and so salty.
my
I want it to
first
taste
sip
like
of
the
it,
ocean.
My first sip of it last night, there was an ice layer
The best.
on top. And you know what I like about where we went last night? Christner's wonderful spot in Orlando. We talked about this a little bit, right? The valet for the Del Frisco's family got his restaurant, and that's it, right?
What?
That's how Christner's became what it is.
Expand.
He was the long-term valet for the Del Frisco founder, and they gave him a restaurant as basically his retirement.
Oh, yeah, because it used to be called Del Frisco's.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah.
And his name was Christner.
Yeah, it's Russ Christner definitely started it. Yes, it's
Yes.
now run by David and Mary Christner.
And he was
Wonderful.
He worked for the Del Frisco family. And a point that was his. Anyways, it's a wonderful steakhouse.
Phenomenal.
It's what I imagine Burns would be if it was like just a nice community steakhouse.
It's a spot in
It's
Orlando.
Central Florida. Anyways, it's delicious. And I went there last night and had a nice ice layer
It's the best.
on top of that martini. Then they give you basically an extra,
The sidecar.
the sidecar. So you get basically 2 martinis
Right.
for the price of 1.
Yes.
Now, it's a $15 martini, so
Minimum.
it's a $7, $7.50 drink, which is fine.
Well, sure. You can't get anything for $7.
You can't.
So this is my show and share. This is cool. I know you're a bit of a linguist.
I am?
I would say so. I think you're interested in language. Have you ever heard of something called a kangaroo word?
I've heard of a kangaroo court.
Okay. Nope. Unrelated.
Okay.
A kangaroo word is a word that contains a synonym inside of it. Okay?
And a synonym is opposite.
Same.
That's right.
Okay. Chicken. CHICKEN.
So a chick and a chicken are the same words.
No, that's not the synonym. If you take the H, the E, and the N, you have hen.
Oh,
Okay? Honorable.
just the letters for
Yes.
it. Okay, it doesn't have to be spelled in there.
Correct.
Got it.
Now, you can't rearrange the letters. They have to stay in order. Honorable. HONORABLE or NOBLE. Noble.
Okay. All right. I'm following.
Okay. Masculine. The word male. MASCULINE or MALE. Male. Masculine. It's
Interesting.
hidden. Yep.
These are kangaroo words.
Yep. And I'll give you one more. Blossom. BLOSSOM.
Yeah.
If you take the S's out, you have BLOM.
Bloom.
How about that for a show and share?
That's nice.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Well, that's educational.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Get a little of everything today.
It is a kangaroo word. Is this just something that people, I don't know, made up? Clearly, it couldn't be until after Australia was founded. They came up with that because no one knew about kangaroos. Is Australia the only place that kangaroos exist?
I think so. I'll go on a limb and say yes. Maybe New Zealand. Maybe they swam across. I don't know.
Can kangaroos swim?
Probably not that far.
They got little arms, like short arms,
But they got some good kickers.
and a big tail.
Yeah, maybe they just.
So they could do the iguana
Ottered.
thing.
They just
Yeah. Why
ottered.
don't you Google that real quick, or Yahoo it?
Okay, a kangaroo
Yeah.
and a wallaby are marsupials that belong to a small group of animal called macropods.
All right.
And they're only found naturally in Australia and Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
I've heard Papua New Guinea is beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
It's everything in me when you say Papua New Guinea to not go
Papua Gadoosh.
or baba oo bow bow baba oo bow bow. All right, let's get out of here. This is where
We did a good job.
I thought so.
For winging it. I think that this
was
went
fun.
really well. We talked about the cops
Cops were great.
on the motorcycle.
Yep.
Little guys on
Oh, I should mention this.
big guys, little bike.
In Costa Rica,
Yeah. Oh,
have you been in Costa Rica?
no, but I bet there's big people riding around on motorcycles together all the time.
2 cops to 1 motorcycle. All right. I love you.
I love you.